Sabaho everybody and welcome back to the channel. Today I want to talk to you guys about the brand new OnePlus 7. I finally got it in the house. I imported it into the US because this device isn't sold in the US. OnePlus only sells this in certain markets, specifically like Asian markets, European market, even the Middle East. But as far as the US, we only get the OnePlus 7 Pro. So I wanted to check it out. I wanted to see what makes this device special and is it worthy enough of an upgrade for us to even consider importing it into the US. This is TK, and let's go ahead and check out what makes the OnePlus 7 such a unique device and maybe worth your upgrade if you're considering upgrading to the OnePlus 7 line of devices. Let's check it out. Like and subscribe and hit that bell icon so that you're always notified whenever we put out new videos on the channel. Now the OnePlus 7, as I mentioned to you guys in the introduction, isn't available in the US, and I did actually import it directly from funkyshop.club. I'll give you guys a link to them in the description below, and you're able to basically get it directly from there. They're a trusted site. I've actually purchased from them many times before, and this is no exception. It got to me in literally a day. But outside of that, the OnePlus 7 has some very unique characteristics that I feel like you should consider it. First and foremost, you'll notice the aesthetical differences. So here's the OnePlus 7 Pro, OnePlus 7. We have a triple camera setup. We have a dual camera setup here. All three cameras on the OnePlus 7 Pro are usable, which means we have the standard focal length, the wide angle lens, and the telephoto. Unfortunately, here on the OnePlus 7, we only have one of them as basically main usage, and that's the 48 megapixel sensor. That's pretty much the same as the one we have here, although at a slightly different aperture. The secondary sensor is a 5 megapixel sensor that only allows us to have basically more of an assist, so they have better bokeh effects. We have the obviously dual tone LED flash, the logo, and the OnePlus option here. When I compare this to the OnePlus 6T line of devices, here's the Thunder Purple, you notice that they borrowed a lot of the aesthetical differences here, although the bump or the camera bump on the back is definitely a lot more protruded there. The battery size on both of these devices is pretty much the same, 3700 milliamp battery, both supporting the same charging speeds, and they're not supporting this, the Warp Charger 30. So just keep in mind, if you're upgrading from a 6T to the 7, for the most part, you're getting a similar experience as far as the charging speeds. Where it does change, obviously, is the internals as well as also some of the technology that we have. As even though they kind of look the same when you look at them straight on, the actual screen size is a little bit better, and you notice that the chin at the bottom is not as thick. The fingerprint sensor here, you'll notice right there, here's the fingerprint sensor on the 6T, and then here it is on the OnePlus 7. And this is really the same fingerprint sensor that we have here on the OnePlus 7 Pro. So if we unlock here, put our finger, it's just as fast. So it's ridiculously fast how they were able to basically bring it in. So that's definitely a big upgrade. The front-facing sensor is pretty much the same, 16 megapixel sensor, same where we have it here. Comparing also the aesthetics one more time, we're looking at the actual slider. It's ever so slightly smaller. It's the same functionality, but it's just ever so slightly smaller. And of course, what it does is just gives us the ability of having a better grip on it. But as far as placement of buttons and as well as antenna bands, everything else is the same spot. On the top, we have one of the microphones and nothing else. On the left side, we have the dual SIM tray option, except if you notice, they switched the actual the ejection SIM tool insertion here. Option is to the bottom as opposed to the top. Not sure why, but the volume rocker looks the same. And of course, on the bottom, we have the same symmetrical openings at the bottom, with the exception as OnePlus 7 has stereo speakers, which we don't have on the OnePlus 7, well, the OnePlus 6T. You'll notice right there on the top that the OnePlus 7 has a much bigger grille compared to what we see here on the OnePlus 6T. And that's to compensate for the secondary speaker that will be used in conjunction with the bottom firing speaker to give us stereo speakers. So that's something that you always have to keep in mind. That's one of the really good upgrades. If you've been waiting for stereo speakers and you love the form factor of the OnePlus 6T, definitely the OnePlus 7 will be a better option for you, as if you consider the fact that the OnePlus 7 Pro is actually a bigger device, which means it's a bigger display, a bigger battery, obviously, you get the benefits of a bigger phone. But as far as form factor and one-handability, if you're comfortable with the 6T, the way we've been from last year, even with the 6, this is definitely going to be a little bit better and easier, basically used just for overall one-handed mode and everything that you're using with it. All the same functionality as far as software are in here. Let's go ahead and bring it on. We have the gaming mode with the Fanatic option. Let's go ahead and open it up. So they did bring in Fanatic mode with the latest update that they brought in. They also brought in Zen mode. Now scroll back. We have Zen mode sitting right there, the ability of disconnecting for 20 minutes or so. And we also have screen recording, which is really functional and again, very nice. And these things will come to the OnePlus 6T at some point, but stereo speakers and the faster processor and the internal storage, those are things that you have to consider only on the OnePlus 7 or the OnePlus 7 Pro. As I mentioned to you guys, battery size is a little bit different. The OnePlus 7 Pro has a 4000 milliamp battery supported by the Warp 30. And here we have the 3700 milliamp battery supported by the standard 15 watt charger that we've had with the OnePlus 6T, not the McLaren edition. And if you do connect, let's say, the Warp 30 charger compared to, let's say, the McLaren edition charger to this, unfortunately, it does not charge any faster. So just keep that in mind. But as far as internal storage, I wanted to show you guys real quick that both of these devices are actually pretty good or pretty comparable to where they are. So if we go into the ranking, you'll notice that this one on the OnePlus 7 Pro, we scored an average of 1458, and here on the OnePlus 7 is 1415. So basically what we're getting here is UFS 3.0 on both of these devices and giving us access to really fast read and write options. Now, the configurations are a little bit different, so that's something you want to keep in mind. So although the same processor is sitting between both of these devices, so we're looking at the Snapdragon 855, the design is definitely new, it's really good, it's solid, there's no question about it. And here we get that nice reflection. Now, the OnePlus 7 only comes in one color, where the OnePlus 7 Pro, as you can see, we have the Nebula Blue as well as the new almond color that came out. And of course, they do have the same option here to go to space gray. Both of them have the very fast fingerprint sensor, so you're definitely getting a much better experience. Now, it's not going to be as fast as something that we've had here on the OnePlus 3 or 3T, or even on devices that have had the fingerprint sensor sitting on the back, let's say the OnePlus 6. Those things definitely have fast fingerprint sensors, but for me, what we have from last year to this year, both of these devices are definitely a lot faster than what we get with the OnePlus 6T, even if it's Thunder Purple. And again, nothing's wrong with it, it's just the acceptance rate on the older version of it has not been the best. And of course, going over to the OnePlus 7, let's go ahead and do it. It's just ridiculously fast. There's no question about that. And of course, it works the same on both of these devices, the 7 and the 7 Pro. And of course, software experience should be pretty similar, as the Oxygen OS features will be coming to both devices. And right now, other than the fact that we have the ability to go into QHD with 90 Hertz, for the most part, it's a 1-to-1 ratio as far as software. We're able to basically get gaming mode with Fanatic mode, Zen mode, as well as screen recording, and of course, all the other options that we normally get within our devices. Now, the maximum resolution that we have on both of these devices are slightly different. 1080p 60 Hz, and this is QHD at 90 Hz. And you're able to basically go down to 1080p to 60 Hz, 1080p at 90 Hz, or QHD at 90 Hz, or even QHD at 60 Hz. Depending on the configuration you go, you're able to customize the experience on both of these devices. Now, one thing you want to keep in mind is that we have a 6.4-inch display compared to a 6.67-inch display. And because of the front-facing camera placement, we actually get a slightly bigger display because there is no notch on this device. So you notice right there, the notch is gone. There is basically just a slight opening for the earpiece at the top. We have the same earpiece, but we do have that teardrop notch. Again, very, very much exactly the way we had it on the OnePlus 6T and the 6T McLaren edition. I think aesthetically, it's not that bad. It's a very, very minimalistic, approach to what we get here. But again, you're getting a bigger battery, you're getting slightly smaller battery, but again, the 6T has been able to last us for a long, long time, and the 7 should be able to do even better because of the new SoC, the Snapdragon 855. Although both of them are running slightly different versions of Oxygen OS, this is a 9.5.4, that's the latest on the OnePlus 7, and 9.5.7, the latest on the OnePlus 7 Pro, that addressed some of the camera concerns that a lot of people were having. But again, they're both running on top of Android 9.0, and the configuration is slightly different. We have the ability to go in between 6 and 8 gigabytes of RAM and 128 to 256 gigs of internal storage. On the OnePlus 7 Pro, we have the ability of going all the way up to this model, which is the 12 gigabytes of RAM, 256 gigs of storage, as well as going, obviously the 6 and 8 and then the 12. But again, as far as the high end, the maximum we're able to get here on the OnePlus 7 is 8,256, where we're able to go up to 12 gigabytes. So if you need more RAM, this is definitely going to be there. But in my opinion, with Oxygen OS, definitely 8 gigs is really, really good. 6 gigs is reusable, and it's definitely very nice. So for the audio test, we're going to be playing the same song, Jumbo by Alex Crindo. This is an NCS song, so no copyright issues here. And we'll be able to basically see the comparison and see, are they pretty comparable in the audio department, specifically when we're using these speakers that are built in here. Definitely sounds really nice. Stereo is here and definitely sounds very clear. Let's go and play here. Jump over to the right part. So one thing I also noticed right away is that the placement of the speaker itself on the OnePlus 7 Pro is on the bottom right, as opposed to where we have it on the OnePlus 7, it's on the bottom left. So the other grill that we have here is purely for symmetry, but it also houses the secondary microphone for the cameras whenever you're using it for video. Using the OnePlus 7 is going to definitely be more of a personal choice. If you're comfortable with the form factor of the OnePlus 7, like right now we're using the front-facing camera, it's a max 1080p, and you're basically going to be able to use it the same way. We did get some of the optimizations that we received with the OnePlus 7 Pro. Again, not all of them, but enough for it to justify going into the next level. On top of the fact that the price point starts at around $549 compared to the $669 that we start with the OnePlus 7 Pro. So the OnePlus 7 still gets the benefit of having the 48 megapixel sensor on the back. We don't have the benefit of having the additional 2 lenses, and that's something we need to keep in mind if we're considering going to this device over the OnePlus 7 Pro. I think if you're not really very big on using the wide-angle lens, the telephoto lens wouldn't be my selling point to go to the OnePlus 7 Pro, but it's more about the wide-angle lens. And currently, the wide-angle lens isn't even usable in video on the OnePlus 7 Pro, only available for pictures. So considering that, I would still say that the OnePlus 7 still makes a very good case. Again, at the starting point of $550, that's $120 less that you don't have to pay, and considering getting still some of the best that OnePlus has to offer. OnePlus is able to justify the additional $120 as a starting point for the OnePlus 7 Pro. I'm not saying that the OnePlus 7 Pro is not a great device. I think it's a great offering. It's definitely the device that people wanted to get out of OnePlus. A bigger display, QHD display, 90 Hz, a big battery, obviously the Warp 30, faster charging, all the things we've been wanting from OnePlus for a long time. But it does start at a much higher price point, and it is trying to go into the flagship market. Not to say that the OnePlus 6T or the OnePlus 7 aren't, but they offer us a very similar experience at a very reasonable price point. $549 starting point on the 6GB 128, similar to the model I showed you today, is very fast. We still have reasonably fast charging with the 15-watt charger. We still have the ability of using the 48 megapixel sensor to 4K 60 frames per second. Great audio. We have stereo speaker, the Snapdragon 855. A lot of the main benefits as far as what we get with Oxygen OS are here. Fanatic mode, Zen mode, screen recording, editing videos and so on inside of your gallery. All of those things are coming, and they're definitely going to be getting updates as they get pushed for the OnePlus 7 Pro. So keep that in mind. Let me know in the comments below, have you considered looking, or have you actually looked at the OnePlus 7, or have we all been basically mesmerized by the OnePlus 7 Pro, as I am? And of course, with the almond color that I did a video for you guys yesterday, I'm definitely very happy. I'm hoping to see more options, and as well as just keep in mind that the OnePlus 7 does have a secondary color in India, and that's a really nice red, which is not available in the rest of the markets, even for the OnePlus 7. So if you're considering that and you're in the Indian market, consider the fact that you have 2 options, the space gray and the brand new red color there. This is TK. Thank you very much for the support. Like and subscribe as usual, and share this with all your friends. And let me know in the comments below, what would you like to do? What would you like to see as far as a comparison done between the 7, the 7 Pro, or even the 7 and any other devices on the market? I'll see you guys in the next video.